Well, the day has come, my friends. Tease versus TEMU. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, man. If it's a day called today, we're talking guitars and life. What I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to walk through the specs of the guitars, tell you what's similar and what is very different. Then I'm going to talk about the quality and the sound and the feel and some other non-spec type items. And then at the very end of the video, I'm going to offer you some sound samples so that you can judge which one sounds the best in your hearing. Well, buckle up, get some popcorn, your favorite snack. It's time to get into it. Okay, let's talk similarities. Both of these guitars came with closed back non-locking tuners stock. Now, the closed back tuners on the Visor's ST guitar really weren't super great. The ones that came on the Tease ST-1 were better. However, on both of these guitars, player preference, I have put the SAPHUE locking tuners on just because I'm a locking tuner guy. If you weren't going to upgrade to locking tuners or your preferred brand of tuner, then the Tease would have taken the tuner situation, okay? But both of these guitars now have the exact same brand and style of tuner on them. The second thing that I did is I put a different string guide on both guitars. Okay, so I put the, this is a Fender road-worn string retainer. I'll drop links in the description below of everything I'm going to mention. Okay, the tuners, the Fender road-worn string retainer. On the ST-1 from Tease Guitars, I put the rolling string guide, kind of a Fender string guide look and feel, although they're not Fender branded. They're a different kind of off-brand. I'll put that again in the description below. Similarities. Both of these guitars have a truss rod that works. Tease specifies this is a dual action truss rod. Yeah, both of the necks have a light satin finish on the back of the necks. They're both a basswood body. They both have a poly kind of a finish. They both have a fixed bridge with 6 saddles. They are both, the saddles look the same on both guitars. In terms of the trem system, the claw, the springs, the trem size, the trem block size, were all extremely comparable. Both of these guitars have a 5-way box switch, by the way. There are under the hood videos for the ST-1 and the Visor's ST guitar in the playlist below. You can check those out if you want to do that. If you did, you would see a 5-way box switch. You would see dime-sized pots with green chiclets. You would see a standard output jack. Yeah, so those are the similarities. In terms of the playing sample that follows, I just stayed with the neck position, the neck and middle position, what I call the 4th position, and the middle pickup itself. I did not go into the bridge position because on the Tease ST-1, in the original configuration, it's 3 single coils. By contrast, the TEMU guitar, the Visor's ST guitar, came with a single coil, and then a humbucker in the bridge. So in the playing samples, it would not have been fair for me to go into the bridge position. Okay? All right. Both of the guitars are comparable in weight. The Visor's weighs in at 6.6 pounds. The Tease weighs in at 7 pounds, according to my weighing apparatus. The ST-1 has a full swimming pool route where you can throw just any pickup configuration you could imagine into the Tease ST-1. The Visors, by contrast, has a humbucker route in the neck and bridge position. The middle, though, if you wanted to put a humbucker in the middle, you would have to do some work. Anyway, guys, you're going to have to check out the under the hood vids if you want to get close-up looks of that. I'm trying just to talk about specifications at the moment. Okay? So by way of specs, those are all the similar things. Now let's talk about what's different. The one difference on the TEMU guitar, the Visors ST guitar, that I like, and I'm going to go ahead and say more than the Tease, is I like the color of the neck. I like the roasted maple neck. I like the way it looks on the back. The fingerboard, to me, is a thing of beauty. They call this a charcoal grilled maple neck fingerboard, excuse me, get your terminology straight. And it has the Abalone inlays, or Abalonian, however it is you say that. I think the fingerboard of this guitar is smoking hot. I really dig the roasted maple look on the back. And so if I were doing an advantage, okay, if I were going to weigh the guitars out, okay, and I was going to go advantage to, one advantage that I believe the Visors ST has over the ST-1, and this is just a preference for me. This is, look, nothing I say is prescriptive. It's just descriptive of my journey. You do you, man. Put in the comments what you think. But the only advantage that I found the Visors ST over the ST-1 is this roasted maple neck, the way it looks, okay? Hold on to that thought. The way it looks. I have another check here. Oh, okay, yep, that's a different subject. Now, let's talk about advantages that I would give to the Tease. And there are many. The first advantage is that the Tease ST-1 comes with a bone nut. Visors ST is straight up plastic. Both of the guitars have 22 frets. However, advantage Tease, these are stainless steel rounded frets. The Visors guitar, when it came, it was playable. We'll talk about playability in a moment. But although the fret ends were not what I would call super sharp, it was not as comfortable as the Tease ST-1. So I did not have to do any fret work on the ends of the frets themselves on the Tease ST-1. To me, advantage ST-1. Now, I don't know that this is an advantage either way, but another distinction between the two guitars, the Tease ST-1, this is a 12-inch radius neck, okay? The radius of the Visors ST guitar is 16-inch radius. So that may just be a player preference thing. By way of playability, I didn't really see a huge distinction between the 16 or 12-inch radius. So that is a distinction, although it's not an advantage either way. 12 or 16 doesn't really matter to me. One distinction, though, is that the Tease ST-1 has what they call a modern C-shape neck. Okay? The Visors ST guitar, by contrast, has, I think, what I've determined to be just a basic C neck. Okay? So it's not as thin. Now, guys, I don't have a fancy kind of a measurement tool, and so I just took a ruler and did the very best I could to eyeball from the bottom of the neck to the top of the fretboard. And I know that's not super scientific or overly technical. there's about a good 3 to 4 mil difference between what I'm calling the width of the neck itself. And this feels more like an older kind of C-shaped model, where the Tease ST-1 has that modern C-shape neck. All right, so I talked about the distinction of the pickups. Again, that's not an advantage one way or another. It's just a different pickup configuration. So those are the distinctions. So I would give Tease the advantage, again, the bone nut, the stainless steel frets, the modern C shape. Okay, let's talk price. So the Tease ST-1 sells every day out at Tease Guitars for $144.95. I will put a link to the Tease website in the description below. I want to be perfectly clear. I purchased this guitar with my own money. I purchased both of these guitars with my own money. The ST-1 was not sent to me for free from Tease or anything like that. That said, we do have a channel code from Tease that I will put in the description below. If you applied that channel code, if you were to buy a Tease ST-1, it would give you $5 off the purchase of a Tease ST-1, okay? And really anything at the store, but let's stick to the point. So if you applied that coupon code to your purchase, the price of the Tease drops from $144.95 down to $139.95. Okay, I'm going to assume that if you went out to Tease tonight or some other time and purchased an ST-1, you wouldn't want to pay $144.95 for it if you could pay $139.95 for it. So I'm just going to call it $139.95. Is that okay with everybody? Look, man, I'm not selling Tease guitars. I'm just saying, if you're going to buy something from Tease, use the code, man, and save yourself $5. So I'm going to call it $139, okay? So we've got $139.95, okay, for the Tease all day long. Go out there right now and check. They also have some B-stock models, okay? Speaking of B-stock models, I believe upon further investigation in all the under the hood vids that this guitar that I bought from TEMU had been pre-owned and that somebody had worked on it to some extent, okay? This guitar cost me $129. The guitar and sales tax, there were no shipping. By the way, there's no shipping charges for Tease. So when I say $139 for the Tease ST-1, I'm saying $139 all in, including shipping, okay? The visors was listed at $119. Okay, now if you go out to TEMU and you do a search for visors ST, okay, you're going to find this guitar listed for $119. You're going to find it listed for $129. You're going to find it listed for as high as $149. So I guess there's like different vendors that all use TEMU. And so the range is $119 to $149, okay? And maybe higher, I don't know. The last time I looked, it was $149 was kind of the highest, okay? So somewhere in that range of $119 to $149, okay? But I paid $129 all in, so I'll just say $129 versus $139 for the Tease ST-1. Although when I bought my Tease ST-1, I did not use my own code. Isn't that crazy? I didn't. I paid full price. Anyway, so $139 versus $129. Now, here's some factors about purchasing these guitars. This guitar did not come set up. In fact, it needed a lot of fretwork. I'm talking about 7 unlevel frets. I had to do a complete fret leveling on this guitar. It's in the playlist in the description below if you want to check that out. I had to do fret end work. Again, the frets were not sharp. They were not comfortable. Okay, it was not comfortable to do this. They weren't sharp, just noticeable enough to me to be uncomfortable, and I did not like that. The Tease, by contrast, has the stainless steel, again, round edge frets. I did not have to level these frets. Okay, so the Tease guitar advantage comes set up with every Tease guitar that you purchase. The guys over at Tease will do a basic setup for you. And if you want a pro setup, you can buy one of those, I think, for 50 bucks, and they'll do even more to it. Just check it out if you're interested. Okay? So the Tease guitar did not require any fret work at all. So that was a great deal. Okay? The Visor's ST was not intonated. The Tease ST-1 was intonated. Okay? So we got that going for us. The Tease comes with a free gig bag. There's no gig bag with the Visor's ST guitar. So let's talk turkey for a minute, okay? So if you're counting the cost of these two guitars and you're putting them up versus kind of a thing, you're going to pay at least $10 more for the Tease, okay? That's if you can take a risk on getting the 119 one that I got at TEMU. So you're all in at $129. For $10 more, the bone nut, you get stainless steel frets. You get the modern C-shaped neck. You get a gig bag. You know, I think that's worth 10 bucks. But there are other factors beyond specs that we should talk about. Let's talk about the quality. So at Ted Talks Guitars in Life, I just tell the truth and shame the devil. And to me, the truth is, I think the quality of these guitars is comparable. I just didn't see enough advantage one way or the other. The look as well kind of breaks even. It's just comparable to me. Okay, let's talk about looks. I dig the battle gray. I'm not a fan of the kind of light look of the maple here. There's a guitar rack behind me, and if you were able to look down it, you'll see the Squire Classic Vibe dark neck, roasted maple neck on a Firefly perhaps, and then you're going to get to Tease and it just sort of washes out, looks bleached. I'm not putting the guitar down, I'm just talking, right? So I dig the battle gray color. The neck is a little too light for me, but I bought some stain, and that'll be a whole different video. He bought stain. I did buy stain. On the Visor's, by contrast, I love the look of the neck. Again, the roasted maple and the charcoal grill. I hate the white part of the headstock. So I like the battle, but not the neck color on the Tease. I like the neck, but not the headstock on the Visor's. So I'm going to call the look of it, to me, a wash. So quality, I think it's comparable. Look, I think it's comparable. Feel, I've got to give a slight advantage of the Tease in terms of feel. Okay, now it's just a little bit heavier than the Visor's. Again, this is 7 pounds. The TEMU guitar was 6.6. Enough for an old man to feel, okay? But the modern C-shaped neck, to me, the guitar just plays better. Now, that's not to say I can play guitar. If you hang on the channel, you already knew that. Oh, by the way, if it's your first time hanging out, man, come back anytime and hang out with us. We'd love to have you on the journey. But this guitar plays better and feels better to me, even though it's slightly heavier. I like this neck better. I like the feel of it, okay? The Visor plays just fine. I've got some playing samples of me playing that guitar pretty much out of the box with the jacked up strings and all. But I like the feel of the ST-1. I'd give the ST-1 an advantage for that. Playability out of the box. Both of these guitars, both the ST-1 and the Visor guitar, were playable out of the box. The TEMU guitar was not as enjoyable as the ST-1 out of the box. I think raved is a word I would use. I raved about the ST-1 out of the box. I did. I gushed probably a little bit. This guitar, by contrast, it played okay out of the box. I didn't have any, I think I said something like, I ain't got no problem with it, Jack, something like that. I was enthusiastic about it. It did play well out of the box. Okay, it did not play as well as the Tease out of the box for two reasons. One is the neck is a bit chunkier and the fret ends were not sharp but noticeable enough for me to go, I don't think I really dig that. And I mentioned in all the videos about this guitar that the frets were just grimy and crunchy and just, it was hard to bend. I mean, it was, and the action was super high. Okay, the action on the Tease was pretty good. I've set both these guitars up to my player preference now, so I can't get the ruler out, and I guess I could go back in time and look at the vids and tell you what they were set at. But yeah, man, so we talked about the specs, we talked about the overall value. I think for an extra $10, man, I would buy another Tease all day long. So yeah, guys, so that is the spec sheet. That is the overall feel sheet. The clear advantage, I've got a little spreadsheet here because I'm a spreadsheet guy, and I gave a number. I gave 1 point for all of the advantages. Man, the Tease takes it, we're talking 9 to 1. 9 advantages over the 1 advantage of the Visor. And again, that only advantage is the color of the neck and the inlays. I just really dig that. So, and that's all in with specs and overall value. So the only thing left to do is to listen to the guitar. So what I did, I'm going to drop an unedited video. So if there's mistakes, there's mistakes. I think I spliced out one section of it because I had the overdrive pedal on for a bit with the Visor, and I never turned the overdrive pedal on the Tease, and I did not think that was fair, so I did splice that out. Other than that, it is what it is. I'm just going to yank the guitar cable out, throw it in another guitar. I tried to remember what I was playing and keep up. It is not perfect, but my hope is to give you a good sound comparison, and then you tell me in the comments, man, what do you hear? Which guitar sounds better? So the sound better part I will leave to you. I have my ideas, and after I hear from a lot of you, I may revisit this question of which sounds better, but I don't want to sway you with what I think. So I'll leave the sound to you. I just hope the video's been helpful. Hey, let me know in the comments if this is helpful to you, or if you have any questions, or maybe you have a Visor's ST, or maybe you have a Tease ST-1. Go ahead and drop it in the comments, man. Let the people know who are checking out the vid what you think. What's been your experience with these two guitars? Man, it's a journey, I'll tell you that. And hey, as always, wherever you are in your guitar journey, I pray it's a long, smooth, safe, joy-filled ride for you, Jack. Now, let's check out some tones. Just some bonus content. So what I did is I bought some Canadian maple stain, and I'm going to tackle this fingerboard and neck. If that gives anybody super heartburn, hit me up in the comments, please. Don't do it, Ted. Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to Canadian maple this thing up. I really have to apologize because I've got a very bright light in my eyeballs, which means when I look down to read, I cannot read because I'm blinded by the light. No, copyright violation. Wow, wow. Well, hello, friends. Oh, man. Trying to get my camera set up. All right, today has come, my friends, to talk about the Tease guitar versus the TEMU. Nope. Edit. Cut. Throw that one out. Vicers. Just between. Why is my video so low or so high? You're not. Let me adjust the camera. Stand by. Dang.